de esta pregunta. What are we looking for as a city? What are we looking for and what do we have to offer? What can we offer everybody else? Because many times when we're from a community, it's kind of, we become immune to the things that our community has because they're like cosas cotidianas, right? El canal de Santa Luz. That is like super cool. And I feel like a lot of people from Monterrey no se dan cuenta o no aprovechan de esa, como ese recurso que tienen. Así que el comité se sentó y nos preguntamos, what are we looking for and what do we have to offer also? Because the sister city relationships are based on, you used an adjective earlier. Do you remember what it was? It starts with an M. Mutual. It's a mutual relationship. It's a reciprocal relationship because if I, what's your name?
Sahara.
Sahara. Okay. Like the desert?
Yes.
Oh, that's excellent. Okay, so if Sahara and I are friends, and Sahara is always giving things to me, and she's always bringing me places, and she's always inviting me to eat, but I never give her anything, I don't give her time, I don't give her the things that I have available to me, she's gonna get tired, right?
Sorry, have you met Sahara?
No, I feel like you have though. So the relationship, it's important to think about what do you want and what do you have to offer. So in St. Peter, we formed the committee and we said, well, what are we looking for? We want a city that is similar in population, similar, I'm talking about like St. Peter, Minnesota has like 12,000 people. And so we weren't looking for like a Ciudad Juarez, okay? We were looking for like a smaller community, not necessarily 12,000 people, but a smaller community that's more compatible, right? So we were looking for population considerations, primary industries. What are the industries that are present in our community and how could they be involved? Education in St. Peter is super important because in the community of 12,000 people, 3,000 de esa gente son alumnos de la universidad. So it's really important, the university and academia is really important in St. Peter. So we wanted to include that in any kind of sister city relationship. The geographic region, por casualidad la Universidad de Gustavus Adolphus College, que está en St. Peter, estaban en el año de México, así le decían. Así que nosotros dijimos, bueno, entonces si todos estamos en el año de México, nosotros vamos a buscar una ciudad hermana en México. Así que nosotros tuvimos una región geográfica ya como preestablecida. The cultural heritage, St. Peter has a Latin American community. In fact, there's a Mexican community in St. Peter. And we went to them and we said, well, we assumed that they would want a sister city relationship with their home state here in Mexico, which was Tamaulipas. And to our surprise, when we went to them and asked them, they said, no. We already know about Tamaulipas. We have family there, we know the traditions and the culture. We want to get to know a different part of Mexico. We're interested in meeting new people. So we said, okay, Mexico, except Tamaulipas. And from there, so tourism and the economy, those are part of primary industries. Tourism is really important in St. Peter, local tourism, or like rural tourism, because it's not a big city, but they have very beautiful landscape and things like that. So from there, we went to the Sister City International website. Has anybody ever visited the Sister Cities International website? No? Okay. It's super cool, really interesting, and it's like, okay, who knows what eHarmony is? What is eHarmony? Nobody, never heard of eHarmony?
I heard once, but I don't know.
eHarmony is a dating site.
That's why I never heard.
Yeah. Cachados. No, eHarmony is a dating site, and Sister Cities International, their website, is like the eHarmony of sister cities. So it's like, it helps match cities with other cities. And you can do it through their búsqueda de ciudades, sisters seeking cities. Sisters seeking, cities seeking cities. Cities seeking cities. Okay. So if you go to the Sister City International website, I think the first thing you see is city search. So let's go to Mexico. And search. These are cities that have sister cities. I think we're gonna,
Is that right?
let me find. Monterrey has 4 different sister cities. They are, Dallas, Texas, McAllen, Texas, San Antonio, Texas, and Orlando, Florida. Did you know that?
No, only San Antonio, but I didn't think it was still on.
When did you hear about that? How long ago?
Many years ago, 15, 20 years ago.
So perhaps there was an initial committee that made the connection there, but maybe over the years, things kind of cooled off, yeah. Things kind of got, they weren't very active. So Monterrey already has 4 different sister cities that have signed official Sister Cities International documentation. The process is the following. No, I'll tell you about the formalization process in a minute, just a second. Let's go back to the PowerPoint because otherwise I'll get ahead of myself. Okay, so you can go to the Sister City website. We went to the Sister City website and we searched Mexico. There were cities like Monterrey, there were cities like Ciudad Juárez, Ciudad de Mexico, Guadalajara, and we were like, whoa, those are really big. How are we going to have a mutually beneficial and reciprocal relationship with a city that has millions of people and we have 12,000? How is that going to work? So on the Sister City website, the only city that was less than like 250,000 people was Petlatlan, Guerrero. And we said, okay, that sounds interesting. If you go to the website, oh, it's right here. So St. Peter, Minnesota, if you search St. Peter, Minnesota in the Sister City website, and you click on St. Peter, you get the population, a contact name, an email, and a phone number. That's all it takes, an email and a phone number. An initiative for you to pick up the phone and call that person. So we called, her name was Maite Espinosa, may she rest in peace. She was the initial contact for Sister Cities in Petlatlan. We called her and we said, hey, we're interested in creating or establishing a sister city relationship. Would you be interested in pursuing the possibility of establishing a relationship? And she said, I think so, but let me check with the presidente. And of course the president said yes, and we arranged an exploratory committee or contingente. So we got a contingent of people from St. Peter. There was a student, moi. There was a teacher from the university, a teacher from the high school, the mayor of the city, the director of community service and education at the university, and a businessman. And we went to Petlatlan, and we just toured. They received us, Maite Espinosa and the president, and a lot of politicians, in fact, received us. They took us to the beaches, they took us to the high school, the university, the hospital, they showed us around the town center. Petlatlan has a population of like 25,000 people, approximately. So it's a pueblo. It's a big pueblo, but it's a pueblo. And we liked what we saw. It looked super compatible. There was a university. Petatlan has la Universidad Tecnológica de la Costa Grande de Guerrero, or the UTCGG. La única universidad que da risa.
I actually work for UT.
You guys need to get this.
So we liked that there was a university. They had local tourism. They had high schools that were active and interested in the relationship. The local government was very supportive. And the hospital, St. Peter and Petatlan both have a hospital. So with that information, we went back to Minnesota and we reported to the community that we found a potential match, a compatible sister city. And the people from Petatlan got together and they went to St. Peter. They sent the primera dama, a lawyer from the university, a teacher from the high school, and the secretary of the First Lady. And so they were in St. Peter, and we received them just like they received us. We took them to tour the university, the town center, the tourism industry, the local businesses, the hospital, all of the different things in St. Peter. They went back to their community and they said, hey, I think we found a compatible match. And from there, what do you think happens?
You start the relationship.
You start the relationship. How can you formalize a relationship?
Signing an
Signing
agreement.
okay.
Sister Cities International makes it really easy. There's like one document that's like already pre-written, and all you do is the highest government authority in the city signs along with the counterpart in the other city. They sign one document and that makes it official. There's a fee. I think the fee it's minimal. It's like $150, or it was $150 7 years ago, something like that. So there's a fee and there's documents, and that's it. Okay, but now what? So Petatlan and St. Peter are sister cities. Woo! What do we do? Any ideas?
You go into an exchange. If people from there come to Petatlan, and then people from Petatlan.
What's your name?
Malena.
Malena. Malena, that was definitely a part of what we started to do. Exchanges. Good. Any other ideas?
Sharing.
Oh, here are just some quick photos of the initial exchange that we had. I don't know if this works. These are the Petatlecos in St. Peter. Welcome, brothers and sisters from Petatlan. Brothers and sisters. We had an observation about the We Are Family song, that it only recognizes sisters, but there are some brothers in the group also. And this is the people from Petatlan who went, the people from St. Peter, from St. Peter who went to Petatlan. So pick up the phone, use the internet, use the Sister Cities International website, and people-to-people contact. That's all it takes. It's not like a, no es la gran cosa. So reciprocal exploratory visits analyze the possible areas of cooperation and coordination, because you can't just blindly decide that Monterrey wants to be sister cities with Los Angeles just because. You have to identify some areas of cooperation, right? Designate a formal committee and complete the formal procedure through Sister Cities International, which is an application form. This is the payment, the annual membership payment that I mentioned, and then follow up and documentation. After you're done with that, you need to start programming. Programming is what you were talking about with exchanges. Programming can be exchanges, like people one-for-one, or students. We're teachers, so a lot of times we think about students, right? What else could we potentially do other than just exchanges? Like physically going and physically receiving?
Local craftsmanship, maybe, technology.
Okay, we could look for avenues to exchange different technological information or technological advances. Really Good. Anything else? Any other ideas?
Business?
Businesses. Businesses get really, really, really excited because it opens up a new market for their products. Yeah? So like in Petatlan, there's, what's the fruit called? Yaca? Yaca? Does anybody know the yaca?
No, I've heard about it, but
I don't particularly recommend it, but it's okay. So there are like local exotic fruit in Petatlan, which for Petatlecos is X, right? But for somebody in Minnesota, who in Minnesota it's really cold in the winter, and the fruit is not locally grown, it's not fresh. If you can create some kind of marketable exchange with local fruits, that's like a huge boom between the two communities, and it's beneficial for the Petatlecos and it's beneficial for the Minnesotanos. Good. Any other exchanges or programming that you could think of? Economic. What?
Handcrafts?
Handcrafts.
Yeah.
Artesanías.
Artesanía.
Absolutely, that's really important in Mexico, and a lot of communities have their own particular handicrafts or arts and crafts. Any other ideas?
Education?
Education. Who said education? Elsa. Okay. Education on all levels. I like to specify that because
Medical?
the medical field.
Yeah.
We'll explain to you in a minute about one of the exchanges that we did, particularly with the medical field. Yeah. Okay, so let's have Xitlaly nos das un entendimiento de algunos proyectos que hemos llevado a cabo, please.
Okay. In this program, I have 3 years. The first year, I was a host family. I received the boy. Yeah. The second year, I tried to be a part of the community. So I start here. This is my son. It's very handsome.
Not too young.
Sí, bueno, lo voy a explicar un poco en español para que me entiendan bien. ¿Sí? Cada año recibimos aproximadamente 18, 20 estudiantes de la Universidad de los Andes. Mi trabajo en la comunidad es buscar familias que quieran hospedar a un estudiante. El propósito de tenerlos con familias es el compartir con ellos y pues intercambiar nuestras culturas, ¿no? Las costumbres que tenemos. ¿Sí? Tenemos reglas como todos, pero es muy, muy divertido y pues nos ayuda mucho, ¿no? Sobre todo nuestros hijos.
Muy enriquecedor para
Sí.
todos.
Sí, este chico lo adoro porque siempre cumpleaños, ¿cómo estás, mamá? Voy a ir a México, él viene, ahorita se viene de hacer, ¿qué es lo que va a hacer?
Va a estudiar en Guanajuato.
Estudia en Guanajuato y me dice, amenaza con venir en diciembre. Sí, entonces es muy enriquecedor nuestra relación porque pues aprendemos mucho, ¿no? El primer año que yo participé no supe exactamente cuál fue el programa. El segundo año que ya fui parte del Comité de Ciudades Hermanas, hicieron un libro, Las aventuras de Pedro en Petatlán. ¿Sí? Ese libro está a la venta ya, me parece.
Sí, está en línea en Amazon.
En Amazon, sí. Traen proyectos de salud. Varios chicos que estudian en la universidad están enfocados a lo que sería para ser enfermeros, doctores o algo así. Entonces ellos van al hospital, que toman la presión, que asisten a partos, etcétera, etcétera, etcétera. ¿Sí? Entonces, eso es uno. Este año hicieron este proyecto.
¿Pongo el video? Okay. Es importante especificar que nuestra relación empezó en 2009. Bueno, se firmó en 2009. Y de ahí nosotros, ya teniendo los documentos ya firmados, dijimos, bueno, ¿y ahora qué hacemos? Porque qué bonito hotel. Es como, no sé ustedes, pero en las universidades hay un montón de convenios, pero son puras hojas y puras firmas y puro show, porque a final de cuentas no hay ninguna actividad, no son convenios activos, ¿no? Y nosotros no quisimos que nuestra ciudad hermana cayera en esa categoría, ¿no? De una relación inactiva. Así que pensamos, ¿qué podemos hacer? Los alumnos tienen una semana en marzo, abril. ¿Cómo se llama su semana de vacaciones? Spring break, Semana Santa, spring break, ¿no? Pero los spring breakers que ustedes se imaginan, ¿a dónde van? A la playa, ¿a cuáles ciudades, por ejemplo?
Cancún.
Cancún.